y'all don't even know. Diana's going to kill me. Diana's going to kill me. Hey, where in the hell is my hat? Diana, what you did with my hat?
I ain't did nothing. Merry Christmas, everybody. So what happened was Doc put me on screen so he could hide his melon because he ashy in the back.
Oh,
right about
I know
there.
what.
It's like once you come over the hump part, it right there.
Look.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays and all that good jazz. Be in a good mood.
I always have a backup hat. And this backup hat, look, first of all, today, look, I'm ready. Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. We can't see because of the mic. Intent and purpose.
Manchester United, and then go like this. Oh, shook it now.
Whistle ready.
Yeah, so now, take that.
Whistle ready.
Now I got yellow card. Out of here. Who the hell is Linwell? Who is that guy? Who is the drops of lemon?
I'm here for it. Says Lemuil.
Yeah, Lemonator. What it does, lemon? All right, so let me say what's up to these Kim folks. We already got Keely in here. I'm wearing her on my head. David Hunt is in the building. Some dude named Linwell. I don't know who the hell that is. Wootitude, whatever. Linwell Attitude. Yeah, there you go. Linwell Attitude. What's up? Then David Hunt, my G. Glenessa is in the building. What's up, Gigi? What's up, girl? And then I see PJ done rolled up in here. What's up, PJ? What's crack-a-lacking? And then, boom. There we go. All right, there you go. The hat looks familiar. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Dina's here. What's up, Dina? Dina is in the building. Yo, Miss D, she has been cooking up some major things. She done got her live streaming bug. She out here cooking on night times. And then
who has?
Dina right here, Silver Lining Home Plate, my homie.
Nice.
Like, she's doing really good with her streams and stuff. And then, like, she live streaming with an actual stream in the backyard. I mean, salmons and everything in that joint. Occasional eagle, couple of bar come through there. You know, I'm like, yo, Bar be like, hey, Dina, can I borrow a cup of sugar? She be like, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Yogi.
Cup of sugar.
You can get that. So, yeah, she's been doing good. And she grows perverted carrots. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
But Merry Christmas to you also.
Eileen is in the building. Yo.
Miss Eileen.
Anna Hill in the building.
Anna Hill.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right, cool. We in the building. All right, so we got stuff to talk about this here week. Besides the ever presence in the founding of one of our friends, Linwell. Let me pour a little out for him. Actually, I got to wipe up the shit I've been pouring out for him all of this time because he ain't actually gone. I got to wipe it back up now.
Wow. Oh, man.
What's happening, Lynn?
Hilarious. Well, indeed, we do have some topics to talk about, as always, with This Week in Live, bringing you the latest tech news and things thereabout. I'm not going to go into the first story that's on my mind because I can't pronounce somebody's last name all that well because I was too busy playing around. No, I was too busy playing around with the pronunciation that I literally forgot however you said is the right way. So
DeRosier.
I'll let you do the honors.
It's DeRosier.
Yes. All right. Well,
Twitch hires Facebook executive Kendra DeRosier in the senior role supporting unrepresented creators. There.
Yes. And I like this so much because, first of all, you have somebody that's a creator that is in the space that is speaking about people that don't get the right representation, that when they are represented, it's poorly done.
Representated.
It kind of takes you, represented. It's kind of like, it puts you in the mindset of like when McDonald's came out with that $1 Millionaire or whatever. It was all these like super corny hip hop style songs with like black people with like some jeans and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Stuff is like trying to appeal to black people. It's like, we're just gonna get the cheeseburger anyway. We didn't need to be insulted before we went to the drive-thru. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody would get the cheeseburger. But it just so happened certain zip codes, you know what I'm saying, getting this $1 Millionaire kind of thing. So it just is like, whatever. It's like you get so used to getting misrepresented all the time for a lot of different people. I think now is the season for a lot of companies to not talk about it, but walk about it. So I love that this is happening, because when you have creators being properly represented, that means opportunities become vast, and things that people have been overlooking about what they can do or what value there is for such and such and on, like that stuff now becomes desired. I was just even talking and sharing how a recent church went into like the metaverse and all this stuff, but it's basically being, Chris Dundadun, we was talking, and we talk about how like church 3.0, it's like the whole service was done like digitally, whole avatar, all that stuff, whatever. Like there's real video clip or whatever, but like in the metaverse. And so they were like, and I was super happy to see this. But the thing is, when it comes to content, I was saying most churches, most nonprofits need to have a creator in the space to be a voice on how to create. So having a creator as like the head honcho when it comes to the things of reaching the people that otherwise are ignored or improperly represented is going to be huge on a lot of different fronts. So I think it's important, and I'm really, really glad to see this. I want to watch how the story progresses along, over the next probably like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's funny because representation is huge, and I don't think people really didn't know it, or they just didn't care up until maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. And actually, True. You know what? I think the thing that brought representation to the front was probably Black Panther. Maybe there was some moving around prior to this or whatever, but it's always been little steps here and there, like all the way back from, Nisa Nichols or, Misahuru in Star Trek back in the day. There's always been these little leaps, right? But, it wasn't until the Jasmine Guy show, which I completely forget what the name of it was, that we even have like sisters on TV with, natural hair, so to speak, right? And then the conversation came out because of the movie School Days. Spike Lee brought that to the front. And then, person who shall not be named came in as Dr. Clint, represented, brothers as a doctor, in a brownstone doing the thing, right? Yeah. And then, there was Jasmine, there was Debbie Allen, there was things like that. But prior to that, we were stuck with Nell. And not that, she wasn't a good actress or whatever, why she had to be the housewife or, the domestic person at the crib.
I mean, I think that like the transition over time is like you had the negative roles and then you had finally positive roles. I think we're getting into a season now where we're going to see accurate roles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the biggest thing. And I would say the accuracy is what's going to be huge. I don't know if Black Panther spurred that per se, but I can definitely say it helped to amplify that because it was like for real the first time. And it's been other good stuff. Tyler Perry's been doing his thing for a long time.
Tyler Perry's been doing it, but I feel like it touched us, right? So no, I agree with that. Tyler Perry's been in the game for a minute, but I feel like the movements in the past was only representing us from us. Marvel was somebody not us giving us the opportunity to freaking go out there, and it crossed people past us, right? So it's like the argument in hip hop. Everybody hates this argument, but hip hop exploded when Eminem came out. And everyone hates that because nobody wants to give him the credit. And it just so happened he was dope. He wasn't a token white dude doing rap. You know what I mean? As Robert Van Winkle was. Robert Van Winkle was a token white dude doing rap. Or pretending to do rap because that shit wasn't rap. Eminem came out. Eminem to this day can stand toe to toe with any lyrics. It's not some, not a little bit. he can stand toe to toe with any of them. There's days where he'll lose. There's days where other people are better than him, but he can literally hold his own. Like he is not the GOAT, but he's sharing the field with a couple other GOATs.
I mean, I think GOAT status is like a good phrase there because that can be shared. You know what I'm saying? Versus like saying the GOAT, it's like GOAT status.
Yeah, he's definitely GOAT status. He is up in the building. He's like, look, come on, bring it. I got this, right? So, and then 100%. Freestyle, like all of the above, like he can come correct. So I think that you're right. We have definitely had those movements in the past. But the reason why I picked Panther, because it was super cross, right? And it was in the Marvel universe, which just got a lot of the young folks, but it got the old comic book heads too.
I'll tell you exactly why it was. Because freaking, and nothing against Halle Berry, but everything against her playing the role of Storm in the most lamest way possible. Because you have her having that Black Panther-esque vibe, which I still think, I don't care. I still think that Angela Bassett need to play her. I don't care if she is T'Challa's mama or whatever. I don't care. She need to do both roles. Because find somebody that don't nobody know that's a good actor or actress that would be good for that and let her do it, whatever. But it's like, yeah, you have essentially this blasé, washed version of a very strong character. And again, not accurately represented. I love X-Men, but my favorite character that I'm thinking I'm finally going to get to see sucks. And I hate it. And will in the DVD skip past all of her parts. I'd rather watch, as much as I don't like Jean Grey like that, because she'll never do no work. Okay, Jean Grey.
Miss D be coming for Jean Grey on the red. Hey, you can't come for Jean Grey. Like, okay, look.
No, forget.
Hey, I love me some Storm, but come on, you can't come after Jean Grey.
No, screw the rest of the social topics. Here's the facts. Okay, Every time something's supposed to happen, oh, she got the Phoenix power. Okay, great. She lose her mind and out of control. She don't know what she doing. Oh, Professor, help me. I'm at Scott's. I'm fainting. I don't know what to do. Every time a mission gotta happen, who's doing it? Beast, Cyclops, and then you got Storm. Yeah, then eventually you have Wolverine come in there. But Storm and Cyclops ran the teams. Okay, everybody knows this. Beast will come in sometimes or whatever. Most of the time he in the lab doing whatever. Jean Grey, where's she? I'm going on a date. Oh, I can't control my powers. And then when she do get some bomb powers, good luck. She can't do no work for another 7, freaking magazines in the comic book. We don't know what she's doing. She's lazy. Okay, yeah, you powerful, but you lazy. Okay,
my money is all. I don't know why. Maybe just because she cute. My money's always been on Mystique.
Yeah, Mystique is dope. Mystique got
dope.
Respect.
Mystique is dope, yeah. and she fine and blue. So, if you turn your TV just right, you can make her purple, and then it's all good. I like PJ. I appreciate PJ said, like, look, it's major trying to bring representation to my niche, and let me tell you, have my work cut out for me, and that's dope. I mean, you got a female out here running the lawn care business thing. Not really a thing. Like, it's always been, I got a little garden in the back making petunias. She's like, nah, player, I can give you that bluegrass lush. You could play golf on it and barbecue in the same week, and it's just dope, right? Also, think about it. You bring in a person of color that's into the lawn care business, not from working for somebody else, but running those things. So I even love it. That's why I love the girls' lawn thing. Like, it's legit. And then, Linwell, we actually talked about this off camera before you popped up in here. So yes, I appreciate this too. Like, the next level is Asian represent. And so I can tell you where the Asian community is right now. Similar to how we were with the Tyler Perry maneuver. The things that are coming out have always been, and this drives me freaking batty because I am so well versed in the Asian cultures. It irritates me when there's a Korean person playing a Japanese person or a Japanese person playing a Korean or Chinese person or whatever. They're not interchangeable, yo. I'm sorry, Asians are not interchangeable, okay? Like, stop that. Just freaking stop that. And then Americans not understanding, oh, this person's from Bombay. Yeah, well, how is the person Asian? They're Indian. Yeah, it's still Asian, dummy. Like, stop that. right? And even back when I was in racing, there used to be people arguing that Filipinos weren't Asian. I'm like, what are you, high? Like, stop. Like, you don't. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. But because of things like Crazy Rich Asians and other movies like
Squid
that.
Games. We can speak to
Squid Games now too, right?
Yep.
They're in a position like where Tyler Perry was then because they were making their own stuff to finally step up. And it's not that they haven't always been there. They've been there for a hot minute. What was really jacked up is when we do a movie about Hawaii and we got Emma as a native Hawaiian. I'm like, what? Not by Emma. Yeah. She's part Hawaiian. But I mean, like, the descendants, like, come on, people. What are we doing out here in these pools? You know?
I mean, my thing is, like, I think even, like, that whole premise of, and even I can say, like, I'm guilty of a lot of different things, which is why I try to learn as much as I can. When you look at something like Squid Games, when people think Korea, they don't know the difference between North and a South Korea. And so when you have stuff, they figure any place that's not America is a third world country. When most of the time, America is the third world country. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at how cultures do certain things or mannerisms, whatever, just like, or manners in general, how their health, public, judicial systems, all those things are set up far greater than anything that we have over here. But the ad that's constantly been playing on American televisions is always, again, the misrepresented version of whatever they assume. Like, you look at historical periods, even shows that like Deadwood is one, like they call Asian, doesn't matter where you're from, where you're Chinks, just call them Chinks. Yeah. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was always some variation of some kind of a slang, just like honestly disrespectful, completely disrespectful word or term that they would call somebody. And it's just like, so you treat them less than, you know what I'm saying? So it just was always some kind of the American bully on TV. And so I so look forward to like a Squid Games season 2, other shows that get put on, not because it's like some box office show, but, you know, small films, feature films that are shown around or passed around on YouTube, even like all of that different stuff, so people can represent themselves accurately. You know what I'm saying? And then companies respect them versus they're only, even like if you look at American movies, television, they only on certain jobs. They're always like, oh, I can't speak English. It's like they understand the English language better than most of us that were born over here. Yep. Can't formulate a proper sentence if we wanted to.
Yeah, it's super whack. But what's cool is that now not only Squid Game stuff is there, but you know, Marvel just dropped, you know, the movie with Simu, and so again, you're getting something that can help with the crossover, can help with the problem. I got to give love to Marvel. They've been doing really good about trying to help with the problem because they're extremely cross-culture. Marvel's next move, I guarantee you next year, will be the outwardly gay superhero. Like it's coming. You know, because they've been doing a good job of addressing these things. Hidden Figures, Lim, come on, fam. That was legit. Yeah. And like nobody really wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear it back then. That was just like 100% true. Gigi said Black Panther it crossed the important line where representation was concerned about showing that black actors can also be superhero, not just slaves, prostitutes fighting for civil rights. Like, yeah,
we
stuff
talked
like
about that before we started.
Right before, yes, 100%. And I love it. And see, you know, the reason why everybody in Hawaii was so mad about Emma Stone being cast in Aloha is we have Nicole Scherzinger, the Pussycat Dolls Nicole. She's freaking Hawaiian. She's from here. She's gorgeous. She acts like you could just picked her, right? We have Moongood. I forget her first name, but Miss Moongood. She's also from Hawaii. She's, you know, part Hawaiian, part Japanese. She could have done it, right? We have representation. Heck, Tia Carrera, she's from here. You know, could have been her. You know, like they had options. They had options. They just didn't.
It just, again, their token version of who they figure, you know, could fit a role or whatever. It's like, even like you think about stuff like Martin Lawrence, and I get they would do certain things for comedic relief, but you also get where Chappelle was like, no, he wasn't going to put on the dress. He wasn't going to pretend to be a woman or like an old grandma figure, even though, you know, Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence had done it, you know, Big Mama's House and all that stuff or whatever. It's like you'd rather make a caricature of a person instead of just finding that person. Again, not specifically for those movies or anything that they've done, but it's just like a representation of that behavioral trait. You'd rather put the wrong person in that role instead of just finding like the right person to do a job specifically for something. And I think the whole thing about everybody trying to be uber beautiful or something like that or whatever, just like Squid Games, it never even like dawned on me or whatever, like, oh, that person's super attractive or that person's not. It's just like, I appreciate there's actors and actresses that I've never heard of before, that I've never been thinking, but their character portrayal of who they represented is awesome. Versus like they got to be super buff or they got to be, you know, real in shape. Like nobody was nothing, like they looked like somebody you would see on the street, but that had nothing to do with their acting skills. And I think even that with accurate representation, like some people had a beer belly, some people were big up top and had, you know, real small, like all the stuff that you see that you may talk about or see or just experience, family members like you, like me, whatever, like their physique even was normal. Hair, some people messy, some people whatever, like all of this stuff, like that even still is like an accurate representation kind of a thing of just normalcy and truly a representation of the other person.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people don't know that Hyun Jung is a supermodel. Like she's Korea Louis Vuitton.
Oh, the one lady, I did look her up. I saw that.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen her in advertisements long before, and then now she just got picked up by Louis. But yeah, she's like, you know, the Korean versions of Vogue and stuff like that. She's a freaking supermodel. She's been out there doing it. But they did a good job of just letting her be a normal person in that particular role. I don't know if I can find this real quick, but her in the red hair thing that she did from back in the day, dude, is one of the seriously dopest photos ever. This is a old school, like Louis Vuitton joint. And yeah, this picture is dope. Like she just
like when I looked her up, like I was looking into who were the people, like was it their first time acting or was it like their breakout role, whatever. And I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, cool. She was or is a model and all that. But that's the thing. It doesn't feel out of place for her to have been in that role. If she had like legit auditioned and she essentially was somebody coming off the street, I still would be just as pleased based on her portrayal of that person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I like everything, like you said, of her essentially, I guess, coming out of that public, I don't know, I guess version of herself, if you will, in that role, to just being this actress and being a good one. So I appreciated that.
I got to help out Linwell because Linwell's cray-cray. He thinks that you
new
made up
words.
The word. Normalcy is a regular word, player. Where the heck you been? Normalcy has been in the game
Definition.
Like what?
This Week in Words is brought to you by.
What the heck is wrong with him?
This Week in Words.
So I want to highlight a couple comments real quick. Lim, this one really means a lot, right? It says Asian people need to rally behind the cause of black people in America, and you know, blah blah blah. I'm gonna say vice versa. Here's why I'm gonna say vice versa. I was super mad when I don't know if you want to call it mainstream media or disinformation, whatever the case was, whatever caused like black folks to think it was okay to get in on the Asian hate thing in the beginning was irritating to me. Because normally we know better. We know that, like, you know, this is somebody else telling you to do some stuff. But, you know, and I'm assuming that some of the people that was getting involved there a little bit off, or they had some stuff going wrong with them. But let me explain something to anybody who is quite unfamiliar, right? Roland, Japanese company, right? Panasonic, also a Japanese company. One of the major things we've been able to hold ownership on that people can't take away, although they've tried. One of the major things that we've done, one of our major cultural influences on the United States of America has been hip hop. Panasonic makes the techniques don't sweat the techniques, like your 1200s, made in Japan. We wouldn't have hip hop without 1200s, right? Roland invented the synthesizer and the sampler. So there is no 808. There is no can't get enough of everlasting. All of the 808 kick drum, make the honeys get all of that 808. Hip hop does not exist without the 808. So the thing that we actually can own, we couldn't do without at least 2 more Japanese companies. Right? So reggae, how reggae became reggae is because of a Chinese lady named Mrs. Chang from Jamaica. And she's the one that brought it up here to the U.S. and made it grow and put it on the map worldwide. Reggae does not exist without a Chinese lady. Like, go study your history, fam. Like, we got no business hating on them. Like, they were the first people that would hire us in places and vice versa. We were the first that would hire them. I mean, if you go to L.A., all the Korean restaurants, Mexicans in the back. It's just, that's dumb. Like, when we can let them teach us to be mean to each other, I'm going to start saying bad words.
I think the thing to pay attention to during that specific time frame, because even I question, like, where is this coming from kind of a thing. The thing is that when you have people, any people, that are emotionally distressed, if you will, and then like it's like just finishing a fight and somebody say, or you got an attitude, or you just upset that day, and somebody comes up to you, a little niece or nephew or something, and they say, and that ice cream man tried to rip me off. You're going to go beat the brakes off of him, not necessarily because the offense was so bad, but you was already emotionally charged. So you weren't looking for facts. You weren't looking to dissolve the thing. And anybody that's saying, you know, love, not hate, and, you know, try to get the data and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not in a position to listen. You're emotionally charged. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is most of what that distraction was about that. And I remember seeing the TikTok videos, because I'm like, okay, TikTok, this is where your algorithm's wrong. I actually don't want to see these videos. But that's when you saw a lot of TikTok videos that were hitting off, talking about, like, here's all the reasons why we actually should hate them. Here's all the reasons why we shouldn't support them. And look at these instances and whatever. And in a moment, when you're emotionally charged, you can look at a situation, a 1-off, 2-off, whatever situation, and a 2 or 3 situations is enough for you to figure, well, everybody must feel that way that looks like them. And everybody's against us and blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I just think some of these are true issues that need to be addressed or whatever, but in the right context and at the right time. And that time was not. And I get to speak to the point where people were saying, like, well, they had legislation put through on one incident where it's still dead bodies bleeding in the street with warm blood running down the avenue. And everybody turned their head and just like, oh, y'all always complain. I get it. And that is a situation in enough to where people will feel like that narrative is true. So I think in those moments when you are having groups of people that are dealing with too much stuff, like 2020 was an emotionally tumultuous season. I can say for me personally, like, I've never felt so mad, angry, and upset and confused. Generally confused, like, about like why and where are these feelings coming from? Like, it's just too much. Like, you literally like feel emotionally overwhelmed. So I think a lot of what we saw in a lot of those seasons, I didn't feel that way about the Asian hate thing, but think about the George Floyd stuff and all, like, it's just too much. And even still, it's like trying to work through a lot of stuff personally. So I think for a lot of people, you catch people on the wrong day or something like that, you get it, like, you know, it's the whole grab your torch and pitchforks kind of a thing. So it's never about justice. It's never about facts. It's just running off of negative emotion, and nobody's looking to love one another and peacefully calmly discuss stuff. It just wrong season, wrong time. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess as time progresses on, like I said, things like movies, surprisingly, shows, seeing more. Like, for example, people always talk about, and I'll see this now more, especially being a woman of color, having dreadlocks, you know what I'm saying, show up on some of these mainstream platforms talking about camera, YouTube, and content marketing. I get that, but there's no prominent Asian version. There's no prominent Indian version that's being, you know what I'm saying, in that respect, not that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has, you know, like, it's still a lot of work to be done, essentially.
Yes, you know, it's funny. This one is hilarious to me because I think this is so true. We are super, super far behind, and I really don't know why. When I lived in Japan, bro, I'm telling you, dude, there was nothing better than that freaking bidet.
Carlos, there are so many American mothers and wives and spouses and partners that can agree with you because of the Snicker stain skid marks that they put in the wash machine every week.
It's just super funny. You know, PJ, I find this funny too because you're talking about the advertising thing. I like it when it's well placed. I get irritated with the medicine commercials. Every medicine commercial has the interracial couple or the gay couple or the something marginalized in every medicine commercial. And as much as I love my beloved Apple, they have gone way too far. And yeah, Kurt, okay, maybe I think maybe I didn't explain it all the way fully because I was in the middle of a rant, but yeah, it's deep. I know she didn't invent it. Again, I'm gonna put the invention on Toots maybe, but yeah, she had a lot to do with making it go global and putting a positive impact on it and things like that. Because even I think most people don't even know there's such thing as Chinese Jamaicans. Most people don't know that there is over 250,000 Japanese people in Chile and Peru, like Okinawans in Brazil and Peru and Chile, because of again, Americans, we don't learn that kind of stuff. But
let's just be frank, we don't learn nothing over here. You have
when
to
the
learn
wars
something
in
yourself.
China went down, the Hakka people, a lot of the Hakka people went and ended up in Jamaica, probably due to some connection with you know, the UK and China, and then the UK and Jamaica. I think a lot of Chinese people maybe found themselves there. That part I'm not fully versed in, but I think the average person doesn't know there's such thing as Chinese Jamaicans. Like it's funny, but it's kind of a thing.
Even that kind of a, like, that's why I love to watch history channels and like even TikTok videos where people are having these kind of conversations, because, or like you get that snippet bit of a history or something. Like literally, you learn nothing over here in this country, like from, like if you're born here and growing up or whatever, unless your parents or something in your culture educates you, or like the people around you that surround you educate you, or you get to a point like you're an adult like we are, and you choose to learn on your own. Like, it's so much unlearning that we have to do, and it's so much truly learning that we really have to do. You really don't find out stuff and really get the stuff that's important to life and to make connections and relationships possible until you decide you want to, and you have to take an interest in that stuff. So it's like, I don't blame us for not knowing, and I say us as people in general, I don't blame people for not knowing, especially like Americans not knowing stuff, because you literally aren't taught anything. We have one big commercial that plays, which is that big old eagle that's flying over everything, dominating. And then until you had 2020 happen, and you realize you had a sewer rat. That's basically how we operate. So it ain't the eagle portrayal that you see, because I'm thinking we gonna get through this. We gotta have a plan. We gonna know some stuff. And then it's like, oh, we not an eagle, or if we are one, we a sickly one that's missing all his feathers, but two look like he done dipped in oil and water and like ain't slept in 12 weeks. That's the version, like a little sewer rat or something.
It's so like crazy because we were talking about this yesterday. Like, when did we stop investing in our like education and stuff like that? And I think the generation right before me was probably the last where everybody was just able to push really hard and get the education and stuff popping. Towards us, it started to slow down because they started to realize, hey, if we can keep everybody from climbing at us at this upward mobility thing, we get to hold our position. And then the 80s and 90s kind of exploded where all kind of people were going. And then people started to see what are shortcuts. Like the I don't have to go to college movement came through and all this other stuff. So then everybody started going in that direction and the tech boom just took it out. And then the people that were in control were like, oh, before we could do a good job and just keep people like sort of left where they are. But now marginalized people, people who we used to pick fun of, all of these people who wouldn't have never had a leg to stand on, they're kind of like running things. Oh, we got to try to control some of that. So it was too late, though. It was too hard to control. And then a lot of it left our borders. And when a lot of the internet, computer technology things started to leave the U.S. borders and be done in other places, we just lost control of it. We were spending too much time trying to lock it in and prevent certain people from getting it. And you know, like say, while you're squeezing something, you're not paying attention to the other thing, and then it just got taken over. And now we're having a hard time catching up. We're so far behind. And I remember these conversations back in 80 something when they're like, yo, Korea is putting in internet in the whole country so that everybody has super dope fast internet. And they were like, what? No, what? So yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's super, super, super crazy. And that's how we lost factories and everything. Then.
I feel like his education was a loss when it became systematized.
Yeah. Because they were trying to build factory workers, like Eric just said.
Right, because you went from apprenticeship learning to systematized learning.
Apprenticeship, journeyman. Oh, that was a thing back in the day. We don't get that no more.
Exactly. And it's like, so if you were going to do something that it wasn't like trade versus job, versus a traditional job versus banking versus no, I think it's lost way before we ever touched that when we transitioned human race from apprenticeship style work, or not even work, but learning, to a systematized style learning. The dumbest version of yourself is not when you first start school or not when you're halfway through school. It's when you think you're done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the dumbest time frame in your life because you assume I'm done. Yep. I'm good. I don't have to go like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even like college is the option. I just think because essentially most people, it's like, I can't remember the exact data. The statistics said most people don't read another book once they graduate from high school.
Oh, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. Gigi, this is super, super poignant what you said. Because, we never really invested in education for communities of colors. But here's where it's crazy. When they stopped investing even in the education of the white schools, because they were like, yo, we're going to have the brown folks that we call bad names, and we're going to have the white folks. We won't call them bad names, but we'll just trick them and we'll treat them the same way, and we'll start messing with. That was when it got crazy. Like, and then, here's the better trick. We're going to make sure that they think that it's the black people's reason why they stuck. And that's it. That's when the trailer park came after us. Because back in the day, that was our help. That was our assistance. The other marginalized white folks was the one that would take us in and help us with the railroad. And, they were our allies. It was the rich hoity-toity ones. They were like, man, they treated us the same way they treated them new people. All right, we're going to start to help out. And then eventually they figured out we need to get them on our side. So they just started blaming us for stuff that was, not a thing. It's crazy.
And that's why I say, I believe like education was at the process of loss when we transitioned from apprenticeship to systematized learning, because also with that apprentice, it's not just like being side to side and seeing what they do or being in the field or whatever, none of those things, but because you actively saw, listen to, and experience that person's network. So when they traveled, you traveled. When they had a conversation, they may be in the room or somewhere thereabout. Or so they weren't just a part of the learning, they were also a part of the relationship. So culture was easy. Learning somebody else's culture, learning other things about people, learning, again, just respect in general it was easy, and you were tutored through that. Whereas with the other method, like, okay, well, tricking people into thinking somebody's against them or what's happening, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, we get into the status wars at that point. Do you have this degree? Like, like you couldn't, man, I used to hate, you call a phone someplace or whatever. It's like, may I speak to James or the doctor? James, don't you gosh darn say, okay. James, like I said, it's like ain't nobody trying to insult you.
Eric, no, what they would do is like in the schools in marginalized neighborhoods, you had either not enough books, or you got the old ratty books, or books that are like taped up, missing all kind of pages or whatever, and then they would blame it on the kids. But no, what it was they just wouldn't buy those kind of books. They wouldn't fix the schools. A lot of the schools in marginalized neighborhood wouldn't even have proper bathrooms. They had like the shittiest food. I mean, if you
just want to talk about my elementary school, we can call it by name. Okay.
So yeah, no, because Eric's not from here, so he doesn't probably really grok the whole situation.
What that means is, like, I can everything that Doc is saying is not a random example. I lived that. You know what I'm saying? In elementary school, the hot water wasn't on. It was only cold water.
It was only cold water.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
To hurry up, wash it. You had only some classrooms, like where the main office was, that had air conditioner and heat. But most of the rest of the school didn't, or it may be a floor of a building, usually that first floor of whatever the office is at, that has air conditioner and heating, but it's never going to be nothing comfortable. So you go to school learning to wear a t-shirt in the summertime and make a paper fan, so that you could fan yourself. And then, like, the books, I would always be in line to go into the classroom early, because I wanted to get the best pick at the book of, like, oh, that one don't have page 15 through 62. So it's until in the syllabus, when we get, like, you just automatically think, you don't even know that something's wrong with this, other than, okay, I know I'm gonna come to class early, so we don't have to worry about getting the book that don't have a cover, or it's been chewed on by the kid that is something is wrong with them or whatever, or where somebody glued the first 30 pages together because they was being mischievous or whatever. So you had all these different reasons, or has gum in it. Just like simple stuff like that.
Oh, that was always the worst. The gum in the books. Oh, that was nasty.
Yep. Or it's like funny. So it's like, it was so many different things about, like, when you talk about truly being invested in school, I used to wonder why people on commercials, the clothes, the stuff that was out, had nothing, like, it was at least a good 15 years behind in the textbook. It looked like something totally different. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's not even because the pictures were in black and white. It was literally because it's like, this don't even look like the same time frame. So the relevancy is completely off. You look at the copyright date for the book, it's hella old. Like, when my oldest brother, and I'm the youngest of 6, so when my oldest brother was, like, born in the 70s, when he would have been in school, that book would have been relevant. And I'm still learning from it. Again, learning from it. So that's the kind of context of, like, investment in education.
Yo, that's funny. Kurt said, Diana, what does your shirt say, and where did you get it?
Well, unless this is a paid sponsorship by howitallworks.com. No, it says your live stream is your digital storefront. So if you can see that.
That's super funny.
Courtesy of How It All Works.
Yeah, see, and Eric, it's funny because I know they don't even put that kind of info in the movies and stuff when they get across the seas. So I think a lot of people overseas don't understand what's going on, and there's a reason for that. When we come to there, a lot of you guys already have the things that, the cis people in our country want you to believe about us when we get there. So one of the most shocking things to my friends in Japan is they got to know me. It's like, oh, dude, you guys, there's a couple of us are so different from what we see, in TV and movies and stuff like that. I go, yeah, you guys to us too. So it's kind of funny that they, yes, this is so hurting my heart to hear. It just is what it is. It's kind of crazy.
We always had to have handouts because the book gonna say one thing, And then it's like, but the teachers, like, they had their interjections ready, and it's like, and then the president is Ronald Reagan. Oh, well, okay, so it's actually Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton, yeah. All right, so here's one like, I wanted to go into, because I'm just so interested in like why you picked this story, and like, can you cover it? Like, this is dope. Instagram latest feature: why type of comment when you can film a reel? Number one, this is dope because they're trying to pick up real engagement and get real engagement. Real. Never mind. You guys know where I'm going.
Say.
You know where I'm going with that. But yeah, this is just dope. So go ahead.
I picked this story because, one, it's Instagram's version of what TikTok has, which I find very helpful. When you get a piece of content that's hitting, or again, you're very time focused or what have you, as most creators are, being able to simply pick up your phone, like to your face, hold it up to your phone that you already have in your hand, versus like, it's taking me forever. And I don't even try to... Honestly, I don't put that much effort into making sure I don't have typing arrows or something. Unless I'm on a computer and I have a keyboard, then at that point I can more accurate. But anything with a thumb or whatever, it's just like, it's going to be something, or I got to spend too much time invested into this written response. So it may not be responded to sometimes for me, it could be 8 hours. It could be next day, just because I don't have the time to give a written response. However, I do have 12 seconds that I can do for this reply. And if they have more questions, post them down below and keep that going. So now Instagram has this feature to Reels, which if most people weren't paying attention, IGTV went away and it just became Instagram video that's now in the format of Reels. And so IGTV, for those that may not be aware, were those videos that were 60 seconds or longer. Well, now you have IG Reels that is taking precedence in the space on Instagram. So what happens to IGTV? Well, they tried to do it as the app initially, its own siloed app. No, because again, I don't want more applications on my phone. This is why churches, nonprofits, stop trying to make your own app. People, stop trying to make your own application. Nobody wants something extra on the phone if it's not like some too legit to quit community happening over there. You want to be where you already are. So that didn't work. So
kick butt, kick butt. Yeah, it just came in just now. Kick butt, kick butt, kick butt, kick butt,
right.
Kick butt,
right.
Kick butt, kick butt.
So now, it's like, so everybody's trying to play catch up with TikTok, and this is that version. But I think it's going to be fantastic for entrepreneurs and creators alike that want to get into. This is where we now start to see community come to the content on Instagram. They've been missing that and leaving it up to the creator to do that, instead of building features into the application that help to keep that community rolling. And I think that's what this is going to do.
This is dope. And what's funny is, not that long ago, I saw a reel from you or Nikki, because you guys have the best. And I was like, I kind of wanted to click some and say some shit back because it was funny. And and then I don't think it was available at that time. But I like how it is now, because that makes that, I think it helps. And it's good. Like, somebody could just be like, hey, man, I'm out here in these streets. I'm looking for a recommendation on this frying pan. Like, these are the ones that I'm seeing. Like, this is the Lodge, it's, 30 bones, whatever. And this is a freight iron, and this joint costs 130. Like, what's the real deal Holyfield difference between these two, cast irons? And somebody will pop across your thing and be like, honestly, nothing. The other one is artisan and pretty and polished. But like, most people will tell you, they got lodges that's been in their family for 50 years. They still work. All you got to do is make sure that you properly season it. And that can be done just by fried chicken once a week. It's seasoned. Put that lard, that fat back in there, throw it in the oven at 500, let it season up good. That's why, the good cast iron is just as nonstick as some of this chemical nonstick you guys been doing.
Hell yeah, better.
If you cook some chicken in that joint once in a while, or fry some hush puppies or whatever it is that you country
catfish
people eat.
Lays.
Oh, catfish.
So,
damn, I'm having me.
So the thing with that though, so here's the other thing that people can expect to see happen, is at least my prediction based on social behaviors on TikTok with this kind of a feature, is that when you now have a response to something, sometimes that response video can do well when it never was intended to be like a curated piece. Like you put so much work into all this stuff or whatever, kind of like on YouTube where a video kicks off that you really didn't put that much effort. I was just talking about this on my podcast where sometimes some of the best videos that do well, data-wise, SEO, were videos that were last minute. Didn't put a whole bunch, like say, I'm an idea for this video, I'm gonna record it and put it up. And you thinking, well, let me work on this other one that I just know is going to hit. And you looking at the analytics like, that's what I wanted the other one to do that 2 people commented on. And it's just like,
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So, and then you think about, you just want to build some engagement. You want to build some community. Okay. So I'm going to be Kali for a little bit. Hold on. I'm going to do a demonstration as if Kali and we're going to do a reel.
Are you going to do a pose or
do this
or something?
Okay, so I'm Kali.
First of all, well, thanks for joining us for this weekend live. If you want more details, visit us at www.drdisrespect.
So, but like she could do a thing. They'd be like, okay, people in the community. I know you guys are working on your pose, whatever. Do your poses. Send me them, and as a reel, and then I'm gonna critique it and answer back. Right. So then everybody will have her doing the actual thing, the tree salutation, dog frog thing, whatever. And then on this side, there's the people doing this stuff. And then she can flip it. And then like, okay, that's perfect. You got it right. Hold your breath a little bit more or relax your back a little bit or, this. And so you keep going. So you just built this like circle of like, engagement and whatever happening, and there'll be all kind of people watching it that's trying to figure it. They're like, oh, I kind of like the way she teaches. It's not like Becky with that good hair. Like I like her teaching better. I'm gonna go find the rest of her videos, and then boom, so that's the way you're using your funnel in or whatever. All right, like everybody come in real quick. We're going to shop for hard drives. Let me show you this. Here's the Western Digital, here's the Seagate, here's the Toshiba, here's the HGTZ, da-da-da-da-da. Here's why you should pick this Western Digital because blah, 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 blah. Look, prices are relatively the same. Just get this one. Walk away. And then people are like, what? Yeah. Yeah. I think I broke the chair trying to be funny. No, I'm joking.
You know what? I'm just patiently waiting for Kali to go off in the chat because
Rich said I got to work on my dog frog.
I hope your chair stay low. I hope it stay low. I hope the back of it just get leaning. The disrespect is real. We was doing all right. How long was the stream been going? We was doing all right until you want to start some stuff with the short jokes. That's okay.
Speaking of short jokes, I got to take these 2 short ladies to Costco. I don't know what the heck they scheming, but it's coming.
I hope she roundhouse you on a slippery part of the parking lot. Okay, I hope she roundhouse you on the back of your neck.
Oh, that's good. That's good. What's funny is right when we was getting ready to get started, Carly called me and I was like, yo, me and Dottie finna do our thing. And then she was like, all right, I'm gonna just come by and say what's up.
Carly, she didn't know she was, no more. She was he ain't worthy of your call. He ain't worthy of your call.
Look, hey, that's my partner in crime. Look, I know I better be careful though. She might get Crenshaw on me. I'll be, y'all see Doc? Nope.
You deserve it. You deserve it. Right now, disappeared. Okay,
sure.
Everybody.
I'll be in San Diego coming to see you speak, and then somebody roll up. Oh, so you got something to say when you be in the streams. Now I'm here, and I'll be like, what?
Keep it in there. That's okay. She gonna hit you with a. She know you be locked up.
Namaste, mother.
Like now you perp. Yeah, namaste. These fingers real quick. All up in your face.
I'm gonna stay over here with my foot up in your ass. You better watch it.
That's okay. When I do my talk, so everybody that's 5 feet or lower, stand up, please.
Look, represent. Carly just put that in the chat, yo. Oh my god. She said West Side. Oh no, that was good. I really appreciate this this Instagram thing. Like, it's good. This one though, I gotta say, has been probably my favoriteest of all favoriteest of the week.
Really?
You know why, man? I missed it better when it was in chronological time. Maybe just because it was. Yeah, I hate the all over the map. You know why? Because this drives me batty. Okay, so I opened up the app and it's a story that had refreshed, or a post or whatever had refreshed right before I closed the app the last time. So it's right there. And right when I'm trying to read it, it refreshes and go to something else, and you can't find that one. And maybe you didn't even catch who wrote it because it moved. Yeah. And it was like, yo, that was interesting. Where the F did it go? And they do that shit on purpose, because what you finna do? Scroll, looking for it. And then you got to pass a bunch of apps, and then you stop, and then next thing you know, you shopping for them damn India posters. And I was like, no, hold up, wait a minute. I was looking for that post that I had seen from Rob or somebody, but it was gone. And half the time, I don't even get to see who it is, so I can't even find it. But I was in the middle of seeing it, and that pisses me off.
Well, I would say, for those that don't know, the chronological timeline on Instagram is basically, if you got somebody posted 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different people, you will see posts from them in that order. Whereas the way it is now is more so relevancy based, interest based, and stuff like that. The algorithm is more so curating that experience for you. You hit refresh, it's going to like recalculate, and that mixture of what you see is different. Not that you can't ever get back to that person or that content or the whatever, but you're more than likely going to see different stuff. Even now, when you post and your stuff, like, it's uploading and then it's successful, what you'll see is that your post is not even initially like visible. It's like, okay, successful. But then, like, so you'll scroll for a little bit, and then you may come up on yours unless you go back to your profile. The chronological timeline is going to be like in order. I don't like this, and I don't look forward to put a 1.
Give us a switch.
Want it to be in order.
Yeah.
Or put a 2 in the chat if you like the way it is now. So
or put a 3 if you want to be able to switch back and forth.
Yeah, put a 3 if you want to switch back and forth. So again, put a 1 in the chat if you want it to be in order chronologically.
Yeah.
Or put a 2 in the chat if you like the way it is now. Or put a 3 in the chat if you want to be able to switch between those two versions. My vote, I'm staying with where I'm at right now with the relevancy thing, because here's the thing. Some people may post, but they may be posting and ghosting kind of a thing. I think this is going to weed those people out even more than anybody else. And that I think this is going to result in people unfollowing, because what you'll see happen is those people that haven't posted in a long time, and then all of a sudden they randomly post whatever, that person's going to get annoyed. Every morning at 6 o'clock, I got to see you talk about nothing that you said you were going to talk about. Unfollow.
Rob's stupid. Rob
he
said 5. Rob said 5. Yo, we got a lot of 3s. See, that's why. Come on, Instagram, let us pick. It's so simple, right? No, but here's the funny thing. I'm looking at this old post. Man, remember, look how crusty Instagram used to look. We done got used to the new pretty joint. Yo, that was groundbreaking in 2016, but it's crusty now.
First of all, successfully getting an image onto a device and not needing a floppy disk was incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like,
true story.
Shoot.
Yo.
I think I'm gonna keep it the way it is for the sake of being an educator. I may test chronological, but I mean, honestly, because that also goes with following hashtags. So if you follow, like, we was talking about cast iron skillets earlier in an example. Okay, let's say I do hashtag cast iron for life or something. Okay, well, if that's a cooking hashtag that I like, if that main person, whoever may be dominating for that hashtag or whatever, is constantly posting, I miss out on getting to see other stuff when I do come to the application multiple times per day to post and to engage. And I keep having to see this. I think it's going to get dry and boring and annoying. It'll make you unfollow some people unnecessarily. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't get to others. So that's what I'm saying. Like, me personally, it's not like a stuck in your ways kind of a thing for me. I just think I am getting the best experience with the way that it is now, but we'll see.
The best. Sorry, I was thinking of a song. Man, you know I got musical Tourette's. All right, this one is good. Well, kind of, I guess. Spotify is rolling out public-facing podcast ratings. Here's the only thing that's... Maybe I've just learned to just stop paying attention to ratings. I really just don't.
Hold up. I disagree with you, Eric. On our last topic. I know we got to move on,
I know. I saw that. That's why I didn't put it up there, because I knew you was finna disagree with it. So
okay, well, never mind then. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, because I'm like,
because even if it doesn't matter now, it will very soon. So it's better to be the trendsetter. Yeah. Anyway,
I jumped down the rabbit hole. I'm out of it now. Okay.
somebody grab Miss D. I got her by the ankle. Okay, we good. For me, I have learned to stop following ratings, and then now when I thought deep about it, and this came all the way back from the dislike conversation, I actually always ignored the ratings anyway. Because if you go back in the day, if you can find them, and maybe they're on YouTube somewhere, Siskel and Ebert would diss movies like Airplane and Police Academy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And like, yo, them joints was funny than hell. And it's not the wrong with Siskel and Ebert. I mean, I get it, but they're like, it
is something wrong with Siskel and Ebert. They suck.
They were talking to a different audience. They wasn't talking to us. So, from them I learned words like blaxploitation films. I'm like, nah, man, they were just films with my people in it. It wasn't blaxploitation. Shaft, dude, I thought I was Shaft. Come on. I wanted to be Richard Roundtree. No, I'm joking.
In the words of camera conspiracies, they suck at their job.
There you go. So yeah. And that's why when what's her face? Men's on Films. When Men's on Films came out, why it was so funny is because all of us people who enjoyed film for entertainment, not like I'm looking for, well, I wanted the acting to be of a level to where that, it's like a French noir flick from, shut up, nobody talking to you. And then when you realize the Golden Globes had to get canceled this year or whatever, because turns out they didn't have no POCs in the thing. And then basically it was a bunch of reporters that was being paid to pick on the stuff. So like there was kind of the whole award ceremony was kind of a lie. And, watching people get snubbed in music awards and stuff like that. And then having been in a business awards, like, top 40 under 40. And then I was like, oh man, we fitting to win. This is dope. And then they send us a thing and they go, okay, so for everyone in your company who wants to come, you guys got to pay $300 a table. $300 a plate for this table. And then it turned out whoever sold the most tickets is who won the award. And then having the ex who was in pageants. And for all these things that I thought were just normal, turns out like in a beauty pageant, before you get to the Miss Americas on the run up, whichever girl sells the most ads in that thing will win, period. Right. Which is why you be like, oh, this other girls is like way cuter and smarter and, sounded like they're trying to save the world. She went up there and was talking about maps. Kids in the South need maps. And then she was, They
need a map.
You remember that? Like, come to find out, it had to do with like, so a lot of the awards were always faulty. So for myriad reasons, for many years, I've been sort of never really pay attention to like how much stars something got. Right. I got to check it for myself.
And that's the same thing with Rotten Tomatoes. Not exactly, but as far as
Rotten
ratings
is
are concerned,
better, but sometimes they full of shit too. Sorry.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But it in the same way that it puts on Front Street, and it exposes sometimes that BS behind it. So the fact that, like, I'm fine with the Oscars and whoever else and all the rest of those other shows. You're like, well, how is it that, for example, Angela Bassett ain't never, and I mean ain't never, the actress of actresses as far as I'm concerned. One of my favorites is some awards and stuff, or Viola Davis. Never
female Jay-Z
has gotten what?
Viola Davis is female Jay-Z.
Oh, I'm like, what? I'm like, what did you say? I'm like, please tell me I didn't miss it, but I digress. But no, it's just like, how is it that some prestigious awards, or that has been seen as prestigious awards, they've never gotten their flowers for? Everybody else in the world, you know what I'm saying, getting stuff for being a bus driver or something to the supermarket, and that's all they did. We were going to give them an Oscar. That was an award-winning performance. You like, what? Or a song that's just like, what? You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I appreciate that stuff being exposed, but I think them having a rating system or whatever is going to do a couple things. One is going to encourage engagement, and I think that showing that is not so much so maybe for the judgment of it all, of if it's good or not, because you'll only know based on that star rating, even if it's only one and it's 5 stars, it's, whatever. But I think that'll also like encourage people to leave ratings and stuff. So it's not only on Apple Review. I think it's a little bit of a power play move there, more so than, some kind of social thing that they're trying to do. I just think when people think ratings, go rate the podcast, leave a rating and review. Like I say that literally at the end of every show, and somewhere probably during the show, go leave a rating and a review for the Video Simplified podcast. Unshameless plug. So it just like, it's always even insinuated that it's going to be Apple Podcasts. I'm not thinking about Google Podcasts or Spotify even or whatever. I'm literally thinking if you probably are listening to this, which is true of my analytics, it's going to be Apple Podcasts. Even if you are on Google Podcasts, you would go to Apple Podcasts and leave. It's just been the behavior. But if that now becomes Spotify, if that now becomes even some of these other platforms, I think is going to, I think that's going to do some other stuff, because podcasting has stepped up tremendously in the industry, from deals and stuff, even like MKBHD. I think we discussed it or talked about it at one point, like them getting a podcast deal for different stuff. So I just think it's going to be more of a power play move of, one, making sure you got all the same features, and then two, again, taking all of that, monopoly, if you will, when it comes to social credits, and podcasting away from Apple.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I always tell people to put the thing in Apple Podcasts for whatever reason, but I also tell them that they can get it wherever podcasts get it. It's got. That's my little line. That's true. Everybody will say that. But truth be told, most people still go to Apple Podcasts. Yeah.
Even when I was on an Android phone, like completely just disgusted with the idea of having an iPhone or whatever, and I'd be listening to a podcast on Google Podcasts and happy with it. I'd leave the rating there, but I figure it's not going to do you any good over here. Let me go to iTunes and drop that rating for you over there, and that's what I would do.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. It's super, super crazy. I like. It's funny too because I'm just joking, man. I love Viola Davis. They getting mad over here at me. But she do look like female Jay-Z. I'm just saying. But she's awesome. I think that the one thing that never gets talked about there's a really good documentary from CNBC about the Amazon rating system and the people that get paid to do positives, and you can just tell if you know how to read them. But then there's also the people that will run whole campaigns and get their friends to go leave negative reviews on other people's stuff. I watched some just heinous shit pop off on Yelp out here when I was part of Yelp Elites. Like, I swear to you, this is super funny. I had a person, no longer friend. I had to get rid of them after I just realized how dumb they were.
Dang.
And a little elitist because,
dismissed.
Came from
You're dismissed.
Let's just say came from a positively funded family. Said, I'm giving this place a 1 star. Why? They don't take reservations. I'm like, what? I don't think it's messed up that they don't take reservations. I'm like, child, there's plenty of places in New York you ain't get no reservation. Like, you don't have to.
It's like leaving a 1 star to a food truck.
Yeah,
for the same reason, because they don't take reservations. It's a food, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm like, it's just like, and so sometimes what happens is people put their personal wants and whatever on a restaurant. Okay, so the same person, like, which is why, because I know her because she was part of the Yelp Elite thing. And then I realized the Yelp Elite thing was kind of faulty. The reason why I would go to all of their events is I was photographing. I was photographing all the Yelp Elite events and then, submit the photos to them or whatever, and they would use them to put stuff up. And then when I started my business, they were like, oh yeah, well you can't get the title of Yelp Elite because you are a business owner. Okay, I kind of understand that. It's a little cheaty, but a lot of people that were in there were business owners, but they were still elites. And then also, well, just because you've helped us do events and stuff in the past, so like you couldn't do it. And I was like, whatever, man. We're just going to ignore them. But this person said, I'm going to give such and such steakhouse like 1 star. Why? They don't have any vegan food. And I'm like, bitch, Mercedes-Benz don't have tricycles
neither does White Castles or Burger King.
At the dealership. And it's like, why does a steak house need to have something vegan? Like, and the funny thing is now they fixed it because, you know, everybody done got out of hand. But I'm like, you shouldn't even walk into a steakhouse. It's not for you. If you profess your veganism, cool. Don't roll into something that straight up says meat. Like it says meat on the logo.
We have the meat.
We got the meat, you know. And I was like, man. So Yelp is the beginning of creating a bunch of like, I don't like XYZ because it doesn't exactly affect me. I couldn't possibly give it a positive rating, even though it's something I don't like. I could totally go to a vegan restaurant, which I am not, and give it a decent review out of customer service, flavor of the food. I can't believe it. I'm not even a vegan, but this tasted good, you know, blah, blah, blah. But people don't know how to do that. And then so you just got people that would roll up. You got people that would sit at home and troll and roll up on restaurants and give them a bad review because the owner is Mexican, Puerto Rican, Indian, Chinese, white, black, French, any color, right? Just like videos that just published. I know your ass ain't watched the video yet because it is just published. Dislike. So yeah, rating systems got to be taken with a
man. And that's kind of why I've been thinking about like the like button situation. And it's like the thing with that I can appreciate that I didn't even expect is how much of a distraction the thumbs down button is. No feelings attached to it or nothing like that or whatever. But again, that extra time and thought into, I know ain't nobody watched this. Like, who the hell could this be? And I wonder, like, do I have a bot going on? Like, you got all these extra thoughts, sequential thoughts that you're having. It literally just have taken away that distraction of that chain of thought. So it's like when it comes to stuff like that, it's like, I think, again, when you have, in some ways, a more culturally sensitive view on thing, and in some ways, just like, cater to every gosh darn freaking person. Like somebody would go listen to that person. Or I hate personally when you have that person that does something like that and you'll see the corporate will reply, hey, we're so sorry we didn't meet your no, screw. I like when you get like Wendy's, like they Twitter person, Arby's, they Twitter person that goes, like it's a real person that they let have some personality to the account actually say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we were never going to anyway. Versus like, we're so sorry we didn't meet your expectations. Please email support at suchandsuch.com and we'll be sure to help you to resolve it. So sorry. It's just like,
oh, you didn't even
tell
know.
them, you know what I'm saying? The kick rocks.
I can't even get into some of the stuff, but like, I'm like, bruh, like if the boys would let me, I would be the let me cuss this mofo outline.
We're currently hiring at my company for an HR person solely for that reason. Past a point, I don't need to be doing some stuff because it's just like, and it's like, so here's the funny part of that though. I have that personality of check you at the door. Thank God for my assistant who I'll say literally, she'll screen capture an email and say, this person is asking this and they said this or whatever. And I'd be like, tell them I said. And then I go back and I'd be waiting to be like, yeah, or whatever, and read the email. And it's just nice, calm, cool, collected, cool waters, you know, summer's eve breeze kind of response. And I'd be like, I did not tell you. I did not say to say it that way. She's like, I know, but I got it. And I'd be like, okay.
She said summer's eve.
And I told her, we was on the call and I said, I'm so glad you handle the emails because I couldn't. Like I said, that was number one thing I talked about it in her interview. I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. But I'm so glad that she handles things, because let it been up to me, we at Wendy's on Twitter be like, y'all burgers be cold anyway, and your lettuce is wilted.
Oh, not the wilted lettuce. Okay, Carly and PJ, let me get something straight to y'all. I was just joking. I actually enjoy lots of vegan food. I actually go to the Hare Krishna buffet here.
Impossible Burger is one of my favorites.
But Impossible Burgers is legit. But no, so the Hare Krishna people here have a buffet, and it's dope. You go in there and it's like $12, and it's all you can eat, and it's amazing. And we go like once a week, and everything up in there.
Is this in Hawaii?
Yes. And
I'm sick of y'all having places.
It's
all
bomb,
these places,
yo.
So in Hawaii, we got so I'm Doc Rock, and we got all the restaurants. So
it's super. And the other thing that's funny, the vegan grocery store is literally out the back door. If I open the office door and walk like 15 steps, I'm standing at the vegan grocery store, and I go there basically every day.
That's I'm glad you said that, because I definitely, like, when I tried that Impossible Burger in New York, I was like, I want this all the time. Like, literally all the time.
You know what's good, which will probably blow your mind? Cheese with a Z. There's two. There's cheese with a Z, and then there's another one called Daya, whatever.
Diarrhea.
De Rosier.
When you're sitting in the Chevy and you feel something heavy.
It's really... When you laugh because it's funny, but it's feeling soft and runny. Oh my goodness. Daya cheese. I think that's what it's called. It is really, really good, like plant-based cheese. And here it is. You wouldn't never really know how good it is, but it's actually banging, especially the taco joint. This taco joint is real good. And it's, some kind of, she got me. PJ got me back. This is what it is. Cheese. Yeah, this joint is good. And I like the tofurkey sausages, which is also good.
Turkey.
It's called Govinda's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turkey sausage I rock with. Turkey bacon, not so much.
Turkey sausage is not vegan. It's meat. Tofurkey is made out of...
Okay, so I'm thinking, in my mind right now, alternative to just beef and pork and stuff like that. So again, I got it. Because I can tell you, I'm not going to go full vegan tomorrow or today.
Oh, yeah, me neither. I'm always dip that toe.
Yeah, it's I've been wanting to replace cheese with something, because it's if I'm going to eat a shake, or if I'm going to eat even a burger with cheese on it, I have to accept some level of responsibility of what comes afterwards, of an upset stomach, or whatever pains and stuff like that. So I don't want to, but it's where are those good versions? People say, oh, this is great, and then you try it and it's no, it tastes like
try the Daya ones, and then you can buy that at any regular grocery store now, and it'll probably be okay. There's a brand called Andes, maybe. They have really
say Arby's. I'm about to say don't.
They have really good plant-based dinners. Let me see if this is right. I think it's called Andy's or Amy's or something. No, that's Andy's Steakhouse here. Maybe it's Amy's, but yeah, they got really, really good stuff here. But no, you'd be surprised. There's some good meat alternatives, and tofurkey been around for decades, and tofurkey is actually pretty good. It's funny because I'm how do they get it to be that good? Because it's tofu, but man, I can show you some tricks with tofu that would just blow your mind, because I lived in Japan and I learned how to cook all of the dope tofu joints.
I think some of that is just, again, programming. If it's not what you grew up with, if it's not something soul food, then it's not right. Whereas now, I think the thing I'm glad for is having developed a different palate. You know what I'm saying? To where it's not as much sugar, it's not as much oil. Or is, you know what I'm saying, some other variation of something. I've been on something like almond milk for years now. Whereas before it's oh, it don't taste right. It ain't this milk. Well, guess what? The cow's milk is tearing you up. And so, it's just a whole other situation. But
Carly said, try the Follow Your Heart's cheese. And Rob said, it's far better than Cannon's. It's stupid.
He said, "I love Sony's fox or faux cheese, not fox.
Faux. He said fox cheese.
Fox cheese. But you want some Sony fox cheese?
Oh my goodness, it's super super funny. Yeah, man. Like,
oh, go ahead.
no, I'm just laughing at how good, like, how I got into it was when I was in college, right? I was in basically what you guys call the Key Club, but Phi Theta Kappa. It's like, the Brainiac section, and had this girl that was.
What they let you in there for?
I was the president, yo. Why you playing? I can show you.
I know we've had that conversation before.
But no, what's funny was I had this girl in my stuff. Her name was Lisa. She was crazy, like lawyer. She was a law school student, drove a Porsche, heavy gambler, crazy, just psycho. Party. Time to go eat one day. She's like, "Oh, we can only go to the vegetarian spot." And I was like, "Wait, of all of the crazy stuff you do, you don't eat meat?" She's like, "Nah, that shit'll kill you." I'm like, "Oh, so drinking the fifth of bourbon before class and like going to do, some law school tests, all the other crazy shit, drive your Porsche at like 200 miles an hour down the street, that's not dangerous, but a cheeseburger gonna take your life?" She goes, "Yep." So she dragged me to this place and I was kicking and screaming. And then she says, "All right, if you don't like it, then I'll pay for your lunch for the rest of the school year." And I was like, "Shut up, Lisa."
Wow.
So me, my friend Brad, Lisa, and my homegirl Elise, crazy Lisa drives us to the vegetarian spot.
Crazy Lisa.
And then we feasted. And I was like, "Damn, you little this is off the chain." It was so good. And I still go to that restaurant at least maybe once every other week or so, for all the way back from when I was in school. And it's like delicious. And then that actually pushed me into really, really going deep on Indian food, because depending on which culture, certain Indian foods are pretty much all vegetarian. Like, they don't really do any meat in any places. Yep. Some places have added chicken because of the US, but for the most part, it's and then there's a vegetarian restaurant in San Francisco off of 22nd. And it's called Udupi Palace. Bro, I have changed people's minds by dragging them there, because every macro I always went there.
Udupi Palace?
Udupi Palace. And it's crazy. They'll serve you like this thing called a dosa. It's like a 2-foot, looks like a tortilla, but it's a bread. But the bread is not made with flour. It's made with like the stuff from hominy, like hominy grits kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, bruh, and then you just dip it into different curries, and then, oh my God, fam. Miss D, if I took you there right now, you'd be like, "Oh, this is just like Blaze Pizza." It's that dope. It is so good. And it's like, yeah. I mean, Paul could go there right now, because Paul's in the Bay. He could drive down to the Mission and go to Udupi Palace or Dosa and just enjoy it today. And then, all right, Doc, you was right. One of my favorite spots. So good.
Nice. I think
this weekend vegan food.
This weekend vegan. This weekend I'm hungry.
Right.
Before we go, Chocolate Twist Yoga had a question. Said, yes. Cornell University, among other schools, announced it'll be shutting down its Ithaca campus due to COVID surge. Please share your thoughts on what this means for digital content creators. Again, I think that goes back to the conversation that we had earlier today around what education means currently and redefining what that is. And I think the whole thing around something being prestigious, even though I like Cornell University, the whole thing about stuff being prestigious is not enough to hold you. And when the students decided they didn't want to go, and when young adults and adults in general decided they want to resign from jobs and they don't want to go, like, people are aware of their options, and they're aware of what those prestigious options have been recommended. For most of them, probably a waste of money. So I think what it means for digital content creators is you'll have more people like, what's the guy, Ali Abdal or something like that, becoming, like, transitioning literally from being like a doctor to full-on content creator. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the things that are of your interest, that are of your skill set or whatever. And so I just think I think what that transitions to for content creators is that, and I don't think it's a digital content creator. I think it's just content creators, whether you have a brick and mortar location or whether you are primarily online, 98% or 100% online, I think for content creators as a whole, it redefines what that makes possible for their businesses and for their ideas, and bringing new stuff to marketplace that otherwise wouldn't have been built if we just stick with the status quo version of stuff. So I don't really care about school closings. Even like I have to, catch myself when it's like HBCUs struggling with certain things or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm not against school, but I'm also not for stuff that's not relevant. Like, for example, personally, it's my personal opinion, I think it's too many churches that are irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't doing nothing. It's you, your cousin, and your sister, and your uncle think he knows
your
something.
Cousin.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so when 2020 came, I actually was kind of happy because a lot of those distracting ministries were closing officially, you know what I'm saying, on the books, kind of a thing. And it's not like I don't believe in the mission or the work and the things that need to get done. But I think some of this stuff, traditionalized versions of things, like, are relevant. And so, and if something's going to be built, let it be built based on a vision, true vision. So with these schools, they've been in operation, and I think a lot of what happens in college and university, of people even going, is just because they figure you're supposed to. Like, literally, that's it. You figure you're supposed to. And now everybody figure, and they've learned, you don't have to. Like, I've coached all of my nieces and nephews that are of age to have those conversations and stuff. I don't care what your parents say. I don't care what any authoritative figures say. Don't try to please any of us. Literally think, is this what you want to do? Literally think, is this what you want to do? Because guess what? The debt you assume is yours. The responsibilities you assume of going after a job that you feel like you can't escape because you've built a life around something that you don't even like. But everybody just figure you should. And so I think that opens up the door in the world of people seeing that they have options.
Sorry, I was laughing at Jerry because Jerry says, I love hearing you guys talk about food. Jerry, I feel like you still sitting at the table in the back of the thing at our People of Video.
Yeah, the People of Video.
Jerry, good to see you, bro. Happy holidays. That's super funny. Man, Miss D, you ain't said nothing but facts today.
Well, thank you.
It's funny. It's weird because we've come to a point where, like, at one point, it would have been okay to be like, damn, how the hell did you get so smart? You're so smart, whatever. To half the people that say that, they're just being condescending. Or they think they're being polite, but they're dissing you as like, oh, it's not possible for a 5-foot-tall sister to get smart. I threw the extra shit in there.
I know you will. I'm trying to let you wrap up. I'm trying to let you land this plane. I'm trying to let you land this plane.
Just heart to heart. You know why? Because I think you do like me. Like, I consider myself a critical thinker long before I knew that was a word. It was just always something. I never really took things at surface value. Like, I always wanted to dig deeper into things, and I don't know why that is or where that came from. And I was lucky that at a young age, somebody told me, do not let anybody steal your curiosity. Stay curious. Like, no matter what you do, stay curious. Like, okay, I know you're going on this little thug thing. Get thug as you want to be, but stay curious. Like, because then you'll be a safer thug. And I was like, what? That don't make no damn sense. And it was like, yo, but then, yeah, so when me and my friends was finna do something.
I don't know what is.
You know what I'm saying? When my friends was ready to do something stupid, I'd be like, all right, pump your brakes. Hold on. I need to go recon the situation first. I need to make sure that this. And they were like, oh, well, that ain't no fun. And I go, yeah, but we all not be in jail. So it's funny, but it is the truth. I mean, like, when you learn how to dig in deeper, you just see so much more. Take time to pay attention to what's out there so you can learn a lot from Kali. In that 15 minutes of meditation, you're supposed to be, calming your brain down, but it will cause you to just think about some stuff. So go listen to her and just sit down and then meditate, and then things will come to you. And for you Christian folks, meditating and praying is sort of the same thing.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, it is.
I think you need both. No. I'm saying like not to like disagree with you. You should do both because I feel like praying it may be like some form of a meditation or whatever, but I still think I'm just saying like you need self meditation.
Whoa, wait, I got it. You're saying things that are self-reflective as opposed reflective to your maker. Got it. All right. Yeah,
right. And like the who I'm becoming and stuff like that. Yes, while that is around like serving and around who you are and mission and purpose and stuff like that. Okay, for example, like I just was writing, what was it, yesterday morning at like 6 something. I'm like, okay, I want to take 15 minutes of a dedicated effort of reading in the morning instead of just like at the evening or whatever. 15 minutes to read like a personal development or business book, and then maybe 15 to 30 minutes to go read the Bible. If I'm saying just because there's business principles in the Bible, that's the thing, it's like, no, because you need both, but it's separate. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's not like doing one just out of obligation. It's like your spiritual enrichment has its place, but then you also need self and soul focused things. Just for example, and the reason why I say that is because it'd be a lot of Christian people that got a whole attitude, or you're unkind to people, or you don't care how you treat people. I've been guilty of all of those things on many occasions around stuff. And it's like really, it's not until you work on yourself, separate and apart from trying to maybe meet what you think is some spiritual criteria, but literally humanistic principles of self. You know what I'm saying? So like if I'm meditating on myself, who was I disrespectful to? Who did I cut off that I need to go apologize to? I think it was like in 2017 or maybe 2018 or something. I had a bunch of people that I found, reconnected with, and just to apologize, not to build a relationship with, but literally just to go apologize for some stuff that I said that I remembered in high school. You know what I'm saying? Or in middle school. And so it's like that kind of stuff. You can be like, oh, I just want to be a better person because I think the Lord is watching. It's like, no. Because now you're just playing or you're doing something to think, you know what I'm saying? So I think the self-meditation literally is as it is. You know what I'm saying? So I think you need both. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, you need the two separate entities around it. My thinking, at least.
Miss D just said, in a nutshell, y'all need Jesus. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Keely, not Keely. See, I just call her a Canadian lady. Carly is saying this. Yes, and I think yes, you guys, for you folks who do that, yeah, it is different. It is.
See, praying.
It is a difference. Yeah.
No, see, even with that, just to talk on it for a second, even with praying, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Most people do prayer as literally talking at God instead of one, talking with God, and then two, shutting up to listen. That's why I said it's something separate when you're in a prayerful meditation versus when you're doing that for self. You know what I'm saying? So that is a whole other conversation. That's a whole other podcast even.
I'm with you know me, I'm with Paul.
So again, we ain't talking religion.
Yeah, I know.
At that point, you know what I'm saying? But
religion
again,
is different.
Whatever.
Religion is different from your ability to have a praise shot with your maker. Yeah, it's totally different. Oh, good stuff. We did good. We came in here and we knocked it out. And then celebrities like Kurt showed up in here today. You know.
Oh, the good bishop.
You know what I'm saying? He out here.
Okay.
And then big ups Carlos, Collie, Valley P sliding in the back door. Gigi, Eric, all the way from the opposite side of the planet where they make regular good chocolate, Miss D.
White chocolate.
That's a religion. So thank you guys. And Jerry, and my mother, Jerry, thank you for coming through, people. I really appreciate y'all. Miss Michelle checking in from the bathroom, and Mr. Cameron Junkie. Everybody have yourself a good one. Next week is getting kind of close. It's going to
be right before Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Christmas Eve. So I don't know about y'all.
Christmas Eve.
Right,
Happy holidays.
Yeah,
I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Feliz
don't eat too much
Navidad.
again. Feliz Navidas.
Feliz
Feliz Navidas.
It's Navidad, damn it.
Whatever, my Spanish is better than yours.
Oh, no me puanta tres carajo.
Eres oro tombate.
Yo, look, okay, you know why my Spanish is good? Because I could be like, and then the thing was like, it was like, boom! See, so my Puerto Rican is good.
Nobody's Puerto Rican can beat Camera Junkie. But we need to end the stream before Chocolate Twist. We were on the same page for the whole show. And right here at the tail end, you got to be disrespectful in the chat. So now we got to go.
Come on. Gigi's, my attorney says that is not chocolate.
Again, we were having all a fantastic time.
But no, okay, wait. Scientifically, no, it's not chocolate. It's just not.
All right, thanks for joining us this week in live, where this is your regular weekly show dedicated to everything white chocolate, everything Storm, and it's telling you that Jean Grey is the laziest mutant in history. We are your hosts. I am Doc Rock. No.
Who you with? Who you with?
Who you with?
Who you with?
Who are you with?
Love you guys. Peace out.